guys, welcome to
the brand new podcast, Young and in Love.
Young and in Love.
This is the podcast, Young and in Love. Hello, young lovers, and welcome to another episode of Young and in Love. Young and in Love. Again, I'm Josh.
And I'm Taylor.
We're the Andersons. And this is Young and in Love. Young and in Love. Young and in Love.
Young and in Love.
This is Young and in Love. Welcome back. This is episode 21 of the Young and in Love podcast. I am your co-host Josh, here with Tay Bay, my number one.
Lady.
Whoa, lady. Ooh. We are going to talk about confidence today, and specifically confidence in relationships and how that has to do with insecurities or doubts, etc. when it comes to your relationship, or more specifically our relationship, and hopefully something that you can take away from that. Tay, confidence, what is it?
Confidence? My answer is not very confident. I don't know. I think I would explain confidence as just feeling sure of yourself. I don't know. I feel like it's a surety. Isn't that?
Where does your confidence come from?
Your self-esteem.
On what do you base your self-esteem? You personally.
What?
On what do you base your self-esteem? You personally.
Oh, I don't know. How I look, how I feel, how I know I make others feel.
That's pretty good. All things that you can control, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your confidence comes from things that you can control.
You can choose or not. Choose whether or not you want to be confident.
I guess. What would you say to someone who is struggling with confidence?
Change your mindset.
How do you go about changing your mindset when you find yourself in typical situations where your self-confidence is lacking?
I don't think you have to read something that's going to lift you up. You have to think positively about yourself. Gratitude is huge. Thinking about, things that you're thankful for, thinking about things that you like about yourself, thinking about things that others have told you that are good about yourself. And listening to a self-help book or a self-help author. Those help.
Those are all things that have helped you in the past?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see what Google has to say. Okay, according to Google, the Google Dictionary, confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. A firm trust. The state of feeling certain about the truth of something. A feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. I think that was pretty closely related to yours right there.
Ding,
huh?
ding, ding.
A feeling, a wiener. A feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. She's brimming with confidence. That's the sentence they use. Some synonyms are self-assurance, self-confidence, self-reliance, belief in oneself, faith in oneself, positiveness, assertiveness, self-possession, poise, presence of mind, level-headedness, firmness, courage, boldness, fortitude. Those are pretty good words. My definition of confidence is more related to the initial definition, which is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, a firm trust. So I am one who believes all good deeds bring about positive consequences. So, whether you believe in receiving blessings for following commandments or doing the right thing, if you are a fellow believer in Christ, in God, I know a lot of other religions in the world also have the belief that if you do good things come to you. Or just the simple belief in karma, where if you do good things come to those who do good, which is the basic principle of karma. And if you do bad things will happen to you. So, that is my trust. I place my firm trust in the fact that if I am a good person and I do the right thing, that good things will happen to me. And so far, it's worked out okay. And it's been perfectly fine. But I also know that good things do happen to bad people. But trusting that in the end, life's balances will be hung plumb, and that you will come out with a balance of good and bad things. And if you trust in yourself or trust in the universe itself, that you will receive that confidence. A good role model of mine, as well as a good business savvy man, they both gave their impressions of what confidence is. So, role model of mine is Casey Neistat. He's a creator on YouTube, as well as an entrepreneur. So he shares his take on confidence in this video when he was on the Ask Gary V show, episode 128, if you'd like to see the whole episode. And this is what he had to say.
How does one have enough confidence to ride an electronic skateboard 24 miles an hour in New York City?
I have an answer that's not really a great one for people to hear, so I'm hoping you have a better answer than I do, Gary. My answer goes like this. I'm one of 4 kids. There was the firstborn, the only daughter, and the baby, and then there's the forgotten child, Casey. So in my household, it was like fight to survive, and my confidence was like born into me out of a need to just exist and be noticed and be fed. Now, not everyone has had the beautiful misfortune that yielded the fortune of my childhood that turned me into a confident person, but I think it's very different from someone who finds themselves as an adult in a world that sort of thrives on those who have confidence and being forced to find that within yourself. But one shortcut I found to that is by making something, making anything, whether that's writing something, whether it's something creative, whether it's something more pragmatic, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a friendship. If you generate something, you take comfort in what it is that you just made in your yield. And I think that's a really great shortcut to finding confidence.
I am not scared to fail by any stretch of the imagination, and it comes in the form of truly being in this weird place where I really don't give a rat's ass what anybody thinks. And again, that's wiring. How does one work on that? What do you think? What do you think? I go in my room like, don't care what anybody thinks. Don't care what anybody... Like, you don't do that.
Yeah, you get made fun of a lot in high school, and it seems like the entire world is falling apart because you're being picked on.
I want people to make fun of me.
You grow up and you realize it doesn't matter what other people think. You really don't. It really doesn't. And appreciating that.
It's like those last 2 weeks of high school. If you can capture that feeling, those last 2 weeks in high school, literally everybody stops caring what anybody thinks because you're all going somewhere else. And so I've always had that feeling. It's crazy how, I was born with confidence. I truly believe that. I do believe, in my case, I also had the fortunate aspects of coming from a struggle place in a different way. On the flip side, my mom, I was the firstborn, the apple of my mom's eye, and so I had massive positive reinforcement, which then just made me feel entitled to success in an environment where I was failing classes. I was 4'11" when I went into my freshman year of high school. Not so strong of a situation. But I walked out. I mean, my book bag was bigger. Where's your big book bag?
Didn't bring it today. Not on the skateboard, Gary.
I literally, my book bag was like your size. Let me tell you a story about my freshman year. 9th day of school, I'm walking down the hallway. I'm late for a class. I have a Jordache book bag that's twice the size of me. I'm walking. It's like 8 minutes after the bell rang. I'm lost as because we have a huge high school. I have no idea where I am. This is terrible, right? There's some dude hanging out of class with Paige Parlow, who's one of the hottest girls in our school. It's 8 days into school. I know who she is. She's a sophomore. He's a senior. I'm walking by them. He goes, psst. yeah. He goes, the nursery school's over there. That's what happened to me. Do you know what went through my mind? I said, wait till I face punk. Sorry, India. That's what went through my mind. And that's just where I've always been. I know it's a little crude. But...
Very Vaynerchuk, folks.
All right, let's move on.
We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you guys. We're going to take a quick moment and highlight one of our sponsors, Anchor.
So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let us explain.
It's free. All you need to do is download their app or visit their website, which is anchor.fm.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
They will literally take care of all of the distribution services, so all you have to do on the day of is hit publish. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone using the app or computer if you'd much rather just use the website.
You can even make money from your podcast without even having one listener.
Yeah, without a single listener, they'll find sponsors that are willing to give you a chance and give you a shot at making money.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So all we ask is that if you have a story to tell or a message to share, that you download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. When I had an idea to start a podcast, I had no idea where to start. But I had listened to Candace and Casey's couples therapy, and they had mentioned an app called Anchor. And I was really intrigued to see how really simple it could be to make a podcast.
Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means that you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad.
So, if you always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's Anchor, as in ANCHOR.FM/START to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. I can't wait to hear your guys' podcasts. Taylor, thoughts?
So, I really only have two
That's fine.
thoughts. I really liked what Casey said about creating something because whatever it is, whatever you decide to do, it's yours. And that's something that you can take pride in, like he said. But I also think if you're passionate about something enough to just, immerse yourself in it and, know everything that you possibly can, about it and, act on it, do it, think your own thoughts about it. I think also having that knowledge about whatever it is you're passionate about can also help radiate confidence from you just because you're so the back of your hand. You're just so sure. So if someone asks you about that thing, you can answer their questions or just talk to them about it in general with a complete surety because you know it for yourself. And then Gary Vee was talking about not caring what anybody thinks. And I think that this is something that we can train ourselves to do. I don't think it's something that's easy to do. And for me, it takes a lot of convincing. I have a lot of dialogue thoughts in my head throughout the day. So a lot of really encouraging things. And then almost always I will have really discouraging things pop in my head immediately. So we've talked about, I'm a health coach. So I choose to share my life and my strengths and my weaknesses and just be completely vulnerable on social media. And almost every day when I go and like share about like a struggle I've had, or maybe like a success I've had, it still takes vulnerability to be able to like and post that out there for the entire world to see. And almost always I'll think about like a certain group of people, and they're like, oh no, here's Taylor again, like posting about like her workout, or posting about blah blah blah, like she's so annoying. And then I immediately in my head like have to think about like me, who I was a few years ago, and how desperately I needed to hear someone talk about the things I was talking about, and just how many more people I'm helping, and how like, okay, maybe a few people are going to have that initial thought, but no one's actually going to sit and reflect on it like I'm doing right now. They might have that first like judgment, but nobody reflects on it. I think it's the same thing where like you're in like a huge college like lecture, and it's like dead silent, and you have to pee, and you have to like, you're like all the way down to the front, and you have to stand up and walk all the way up the stairs to go to the bathroom. That would give me a crap ton of anxiety my freshman year of college. But as I got older, immediately I just stopped caring, because people did it around me all the time, and I would pay attention to what I thought about them doing it. I didn't care at all. So I just had to remind myself that, okay, it's a long walk, yeah, but nobody really cares. So
I also liked both those thoughts. Gary V especially talking about the last 2 weeks of high school, which I think everyone can relate to, because everybody remembers those last 2 weeks of high school. Taylor smiled awfully big when he started talking about how the fact that no one cares anymore in the last 2 weeks of high school, because everybody's leaving and they don't have to worry anymore. And I think it's trying to find that medium where you can be passionate about something and know your direction or your purpose, as well as understanding that you are the one that dictates that purpose and that overall goal in your life, and that whatever else anyone else thinks, it doesn't matter, because come 2 weeks from now, they won't care and you won't either as to what was happening, and everyone can move on. So that confidence comes from that type of frame of mind. And like Gary said, some of us are born with it, but like Casey said, some of us are molded by life, and that's how we gain our confidence. It's understanding who we are as people and what our purpose is, and then understanding that anyone who goes against our purpose, it doesn't matter, because they're not there to build us up, they're there to tear us down. And then if we find people in our relationships, in our respective relationships, that build us up and that help us achieve those purposes, then we will then gain confidence from those around us. It's important to understand who we are, who you truly are, because that's something that will not change. And it's something that you can always rely on. If you place your confidence in things that fluctuate and change easily, like day-to-day's emotions, or even sometimes personal image, and small menial goals, then you can fluctuate your confidence as well, because with those small victories and small losses, you will also have small fluctuations up and down in self-confidence. So having an overall picture and a greater perspective when it comes to our life as well as our relationships, so knowing that we've made these commitments to a significant other to stand by their sides no matter what happens, is a very important perspective to remember. And that will eliminate any insecurities or self-conscious issues that you may have within your relationship, because all insecurities and doubts come from a misunderstanding of where your relationship stands. So as we seek to have confidence in our partners as well as in ourselves and our ability to participate in our relationship and supplement or build up our relationship, then the more confident we will feel in said relationship.
Yeah, I was also going to add on, I feel like another way to stay confident in your own relationship is to sort of distance yourself from comparing what you have in your relationship to what you perceive other people to have in their relationships. Whether that be like in public, you see like a couple, or on social media where you only see couples post like only the best things about their relationships, and no couple is perfect. Every couple fights, every couple just has those imperfections that we all face, and that's normal. So I don't know, I feel like it's really hard when if you were to be on social media and be like, oh, why can't we be like them, or why can they do this and like we can't, why, I don't know, you can think of a ton of different reasons, but I think it helps to just throw it all into perspective and remember that not everything, man, my brain is on there. What's that saying? Things are not always as they appear to be. That's right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Things are not always what they appear to be. Just another thing I think is important is that just a reminder that your mindset and the thoughts that you either choose to think or that just the thoughts that sort of pop up in your head, they're so powerful. So all those garbage thoughts that just sort of show up out of nowhere, we, at the end of the day, or in that moment, we get to choose whether or not we want to reflect on that thought or whether we dismiss it immediately. And the same thing goes with thoughts that we tell ourselves to make us act a certain way or to help us believe things about ourselves or about other people. If we keep on repeating positive thoughts that have to do with your relationship or like your own confidence or just how you feel about yourself, and you continue to reflect on that and to say it out loud and just say it over and over and over, eventually it's something that you're going to end up believing, and it's going to be very apparent in how you carry yourself and how you act in your relationship and how you just act around others in your daily life. And the same goes with those garbage thoughts. If you let all of those bad thoughts to affect you and you choose to reflect on them instead of dismissing them, those things are going to have just as big of an effect on you. So focus on the positive thoughts and try and be conscious of all the garbage thoughts that enter your head.
Yeah, comparison is the enemy to progress. The more you compare, the more you'll discourage yourself, the more you'll think you're not progressing, and the less you'll want to try, the less motivated you'll become, the more damaged you'll think or perceive your relationship as, and the less you'll focus on those positives, even though the positives may outweigh those small negatives that you're finding that your relationship doesn't have compared to others will start to take full vision. It doesn't matter how small something is. If you focus on it from such a short distance away, you can't see anything else. That's always something I've kept in mind, that even if we have a small crack in the windshield and a full windshield outside of the crack, if you focus enough on that windshield, you will forget the beautiful view beyond. So don't look at those small cracks. Let them go away. Focus on the entirety of your relationship and all the positive things that have it. Taylor does a really good job at this, so much so that every time I ask her if there's anything I can do better, she struggles to remember because she always focuses on those positives. So take Taylor as an example and try and focus on those positive points in the relationship. And I know that you guys will be able to have more positive relationships, whether they be intimate relationships or familiar relationships or friendly relationships. No matter who you place that confidence in, I know that good things come to those who do good things. So make sure we keep doing good, and our confidence will build from there. And that wraps up episode 21 of the podcast. if we can figure out how to divide the episodes up into seasons, I think this will be season 2, episode 1. We are going to move to shorter lengths podcasts. We're going to try and keep it a little bit more focused and a little bit more on topic. Pick specific topics to talk about each week and focus on that, giving you guys more applicable content as well as just shorter time frames so you don't have to commit so much time to listening to each episode. We appreciate all the support that we've gotten so far in season 1 and really look forward to season 2, where we'll be focusing on the things that make our relationship strong, the things that people are talking about relationships in the world, as well as finally bringing in some guests to to star on the podcast, so you guys can start hearing different opinions and different experiences about different people's love lives. The episodes where we have guests will inherently be longer because there's 4 people talking versus 2. But I think the conversation between the 2 couples will just keep you guys engaged and give you a better perspective as to how different people handle different situations when it comes to their relationships. We appreciate all your support. We ask that you share this episode first off with your significant other, so that you guys can talk about how you can better your confidence in your own relationships and how you can help each other be more confident. And then share it with your best friend so that they can be on the same page as you and work to better your guys' confidence together. And that way you start your support network or your confidence network. And there will be extra people to help build you up in those times where you struggle with your own confidence. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the support and the time that you guys put into listening to this podcast. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye.